Welcome back, guys. It is our 10th episode. So exciting. We've made it to the double digits. I can't believe it.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
I know. It's hard to believe that we have been doing this for like, what, 2.5 months now?
Yeah, we started in April, released the first one in May.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're very excited to announce that between all of our platforms combined, so YouTube, all of the listening apps like Spotify, Apple, we are creeping up on 500 views as a whole. So that's super exciting for being
Very exciting.
9 episodes in. Yeah.
Cool.
Other than that, I'm outside in a different location. I am at my roommate Hannah's house and her parents' house in Myrtle Beach. So in a little bit, we are going to meet my roommates, which is really exciting.
Yeah, that is exciting. It's cool because we were able to bring my college roommate Stanley on. Now we get to meet your roommates.
Yeah.
And I feel like the relationships between like Stanley and I are completely different from you all because you all are in different stages of your life. You just graduated. Joanna's been graduated. Hannah's getting ready to graduate within the year.
Kind of all over the place.
It's like it's all over the place. So it's kind of interesting. I'm excited for the conversation.
Well, before we get into that, it was the 4th of July yesterday. So Chris, let's do a little quick update. What'd you do for the 4th?
Yeah, so we all, luckily the office closed early on Friday. So I had more of a longer weekend. Was able to hang out with friends and have like a pool party and stuff like that on Saturday. That was a lot of fun. And then yesterday I ended up going to Stanley's house for the 4th of July. He had some of his friends from home, and then our friend Grace from Ohio State, who is also his like third cousin or something, is in DC this summer for rowing. So she was able to come, able to see her. That was really good. So see his family and stuff like that, hang out. They did like the legal version of fireworks for Virginia. So it's not like Colleen's usual family fireworks show. It was funny. They asked me yesterday, they were like, Chris, like, do they do this in London? And I was like, well, so I always go to my friend Colleen's house, and her dad, big fireworks guy. If anybody didn't see, he set off fireworks for her graduation party.
Yep.
Just how much rolls.
Yes.
But Stanley's dad asked, and I was like, oh yeah, no, like Colleen's dad puts on like a 30-minute show. Like it's intense. It's aggressive. It's a lot.
Well, I was helping set him off, and when I told him I wasn't going to be there this year, he was like, what? Like, you would have thought that I was doing a wedding or something. It was so funny.
Yeah. It was funny because actually, like earlier this week, I was talking to Rachel about it. Rachel is, as you all know, my friend that lives here, works with me. And we were talking, and her family goes outside and watches your fireworks.
That's
because
so funny.
They can see them from their house.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's so funny. We live like right down the road from each other. That's so funny.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell my mom.
Yeah. I know. She was like, yeah, we always usually go out on like our back patio, and like we can see like West Jeffs and like maybe a little bit of London's or something, but they were like, I mean, we see the Fenneys, and like, yeah, it's totally satisfying for us.
Well, it's funny because our neighbors started setting them off a couple years ago, and we actually like swap numbers, and my mom like will text them and be like, okay, we're gonna set ours off first, and then they'll watch ours, and then they'll set theirs off. So then there's like a whole hour of just fireworks going off.
Yeah, funny. It's funny, but yeah, it's cool. It was a good 4th, and today going on apartment tours and stuff, getting ready for when my lease is up in November. So trying to make those plans, make
exciting,
as much of the exciting, but not. I'm excited to see like this other place because I mean, it's very similar to what like I have here, but I would say that it's more like remodeled and stuff. So it would be cool and stuff. So I mean, my apartment place now is like fine, but like also like not wonderful because I had to sign so many leases because it kept messing them up and like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, excited to say peace out. But, yeah. But anyway, so you're in South Carolina. What have you done? What have you been up to?
We have done a lot in the past 2 days. I've been here since Wednesday, so I'm here the longest. I'm here for a week. Joanna flew in on Friday, and so did Hannah's boyfriend, Jacob. So we got a whole crew here, and it's been fun because I came last March for spring break, and that was right when the pandemic hit, and we pretty much were stuck in our house for a week and didn't get to do much. Like we didn't even go and see like the boardwalk at Myrtle Beach. So we pretty much have just been trying to recreate the spring break that we didn't have and cram in as much as possible. So like Saturday we went to like a really nice restaurant, had some really good seafood, went out to like a nice little nightclub in Myrtle, and just making memories. It's been fun. And then like yesterday for the 4th, we got out of the house. We were at the beach for like 5 hours. It was great.
Wow.
We all got a lot of sun. We sat, we threw the football around, we got into the water. Hannah was making sandcastles. She was in her element. And then we came back here, and Hannah's family was here. And it was actually her cousin's birthday. So we had multiple things to celebrate, but they had a big cookout, made ribs, smoked chicken legs, like amazing food. Then we watched some fireworks. Her cousin set off some fireworks. We lounged around, did some night swimming in the pool, and then we set up beer pong and into the night with a nice friendly game of beer pong. So
nice.
I'm
glad that you're safe. I'm like glad that you're safe from the fireworks.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, we had a couple blow up a little close. Yeah, it was funny. We were trying to they were trying to arc them over the lake a little bit, but then there was boats in the lake watching the fireworks. So yeah, it was a bit chaotic, but we all survived. Everyone has all their fingers and toes.
Yeah, so all good.
Yes.
But cool.
Yeah.
I know. I'm also excited because Bailey's coming this next weekend.
Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah.
So he's coming on Friday, so I'm excited for that. This will be his second time here, so we don't have to do as much of the touristy things. We can actually just chill, hang out, and do whatever.
Yeah.
So
and it was always nice. Cool. I feel like the second time through.
Right. So yeah.
Exciting.
Okay, well, you're at your roommate's house.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we going to talk about today? You want to tell them? We're going to talk about college roommates again.
Yeah. Well, this is going to be kind of a part 2. We'll have them introduce themselves and just start chatting. The usual.
Kind of similar to what we were doing with Stanley a couple episodes ago.
Yeah, we're going to kind of let them have the floor a little bit. Y'all hear from us every week. So
yeah, and I'm sure it's going to be interesting. 4 or 5 girls living in one house. That's a lot. So it'll be interesting to talk about.
Yeah. A lot of estrogen going around. That's for sure.
Cool. Okay.
Well, I will go and get them and we will be right back.
Cool.
All right. We are back, guys. So exciting. These are my roommates. This is Joanna and this is Hannah. So Joanna, do you want to tell us a little intro, a little about yourself? Tell us about yourself. We hate that question.
Yeah, I hate it. So me and Colleen and Hannah, we're all roommates. I'm from New Jersey originally. I studied equine science and management, and I currently work for the Kentucky Horse Racing Commission. Yes. Probably not leaving Kentucky for a minute, but I'm not complaining. I'm really happy where I'm at.
Yeah. She's got a big girl job, which is so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah.
Well, I'm Hannah. I'm from South Carolina. That's where we're actually at right now. I went to Kentucky for equine science and management as well. I'm actually not finished with school yet, so I'm going to have an extra year. And then I plan to also stay kind of around Kentucky, hopefully get a good job. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah, so I'm the only one in my house that is not equine related.
We tried to make her change over, but
tried to convert her.
Yeah. So I want to go into how we met because it's a little different. So I was living with my ex-boyfriend and was trying to move and find a place to live. And I thought about living by myself, and my parents were like, no, you need girls, you need girlfriends, you need to be surrounded by females. Don't live by yourself. You're gonna dig yourself into a deeper hole. I'm sure y'all can.
That is such a Christina thing to say.
Yeah.
Considering she lived with how many girls when she was in college?
Her senior year of college. Yeah, they lived on a 4-story house. Yeah. So I got
girl energy.
Oh yeah. So I got on Facebook and joined the Facebook groups for housing in Kentucky and everything. And I came across Joanna's post that they had a vacant room in a 5-bedroom house, and messaged her on Facebook and ended up coming over and doing a tour of the house. And I believe there was a girl in front of me that was going to live there, and it didn't end up working out.
She was weird.
Yeah.
She just added us on Snapchat, was like, yeah, I'll let you know. Never let us know.
Yeah. So then Colleen was in. So it's funny because we became best friends and I was a complete rando. So it's
Rest is
funny.
history.
Yeah. And it's funny how things work out. And like, I've always, like, my mom and I have talked about it, and I've said, like, I think that, like, I was supposed to end up in y'all's house because I was in such a low place in my life. I feel like that was the universe's way of kind of pulling some strings and making sure I ended up where I was meant to be.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah.
gotta say one story though.
I think I know.
When me and
Like-
Callie, when we were like before, it was
Callie's
you guys
our
lived in the same
Other
time.
roommate.
Other
We lived with her
roommate.
in the past. Yeah.
She's back in Florida, but no, when Colleen first asked to like move in with us or whatever, wanted to see the house, I'm like, Callie, is this girl all right?
Oh, yeah.
Her profile picture was just so emo, and she just looked so depressed. She had these wet hair
Yeah.
and is all
I'll
blacked
put
out.
it up on the screen. It was one of my senior
Oh my God.
pictures, and yeah, my hair's wet and everything.
It was rough.
And I actually didn't find out about this story until recently when they came up for my graduation party like 2 or 3 weekends ago. And I have a big coffee table book with all of my graduation pictures in it, my senior pictures, and they're flipping. And Joanna was like, "Oh my God, this
There
is
it
the
is.
picture. Oh my God, I've never told you this before." And they were like, "Yeah," we were like, "Is this real emo? Like, is she gonna like kill us all?"
Like,
Like,
is she okay? Like,
Dark times. We just didn't know how dark you went. And it was a little worried.
yeah. I just recently learned that, and I was like, that's fair. I can't be mad at you for that.
it was pretty funny.
You know, a lot of my friends from college first like judged me on my senior pictures. That was like my Facebook and Instagram profile pictures. So like, it's weird that that's the same thing for you.
Yeah.
Well, I,
Figures photography. What are you doing?
I learned that your town in Ohio and your senior pictures is a whole thing
Mhm.
that
It's a
I
big
now
deal.
I'm sorry because that was like that's like a whole like you became like a model for
Oh
like
yeah, you were an
you know
ambassador,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
They took
Yeah.
like 18,000 photos of
and like
themselves.
it's
Oh,
still
yeah.
it's still a thing. Like if you get on
Oh.
Facebook and stuff, like yeah, it's still
I'm
very
thankful I did not live in
Low-key.
Ohio. My mom would definitely have done it to me and we
Yeah.
would have been in the
Low-key
pool.
seems a little cold. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's just like a little like everyone has to do it. And if
Yeah.
you don't, yikes.
yeah. Well, and like yeah, if
Yeah.
you're popular and like active in sports and everything, then like yeah, you get professional senior pictures done.
Yeah.
I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
and they're so
Yeah.
yeah, and they're so expensive, number one. And then number two, like they just like you're an ambassador, whatever. So like our pictures were hung up at like the malls.
Yeah, and like the way that they
And
get you to
stuff.
be an ambassador is like you get a huge discount.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
like,
it's honestly,
it-
it's not that big of a discount if we're being
Yeah, but
completely
you
honest.
get to not ambassador because you're already paying a ton of money.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I just remember like when we were talking about it because there were some people that didn't get their senior pictures done until like they were like into their senior year. And so that's just like that's not normal. And so I remember someone talking about that in school and they were like, "Oh, mine was XYZ amount of dollars." And my jaw dropped because I was like, mine was like times that by 5. Like
Yeah,
that's
even
dumb.
at the beach. Like I feel like, you know, you're at the beach, you want photos on the beach for your senior photos. Like we waited until I think I was already almost graduated. And because it was gonna be summertime, we wanted the photos to be like summery at the beach. But it was still, I mean, we paid less than like almost $1,000 for
Yeah.
my things, maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know. Maybe my mom will watch this and be like, hell no.
I didn't pay anything.
I don't think it was
My parents-
anywhere near what y'all
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
No, my
Yeah.
parents had a camera.
Yep.
Just took some
A lot of
pictures
people.
of my door. I was like, I'm not paying a bunch of money.
Yeah. Well, and it's weird because you started like your junior year, like winter of your junior year,
Yeah.
you started getting senior pictures. Then you would do sessions all the way up
So is it
to like
model?
middle.
You
Yeah.
were a model
For like
half
a year. Yeah. Yeah. It was
Yeah. Well, because I did it in the winter, then I did like some like right after school was over, and then I had a third session that was like more into the summer
great. Mhm.
with like and like they came to my house
Yeah.
and did stuff with like my
That's
goats
what's
and
great.
stuff.
You had an indoor session, an outdoor session, and then you had a session of like your location that you got to pick. So like for mine, it was Ravens. Yeah.
Yeah. And then like I did it before I was even a senior because they asked me to come in and take some with like my soccer uniform and stuff. And I was able to like pass out coupons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then I got like an incentive of some sort. I don't know. I think I was like a sophomore in high school when that
Yeah.
happened.
It's
Yeah.
great. I didn't realize how like unusual it was until I talked to people.
Yeah. Yeah. It's also funny because a girl that I work with is from Marion, Ohio, and so like she's here, and she had her senior pictures done with the same person.
Hmm.
I thought that
Interesting.
was interesting.
Yeah. Well, back to roommate stuff. Chris, you said that you had some questions for us.
Yeah. Okay. I have a couple questions. So first, what, 2 years ago you all lived, there were 5 of you, you said? 5 girls in the house.
Yep.
How was the atmosphere? How did that work? I know, like, for me, I lived in my fraternity house, so like there were like 20 plus guys or something, but I was more of like, I felt like I was living in a dorm instead of like actually living in a house with other guys. So I've only had one roommate actually ever. So like, I feel like there are 5 girls. That's a lot.
Yeah, especially once you start adding in other friends and like boyfriends into the mix. Like my biggest thing that I remember, like we call it, so like we lived in 222. So like we were the 222 girls, we were the 222 house. And I just remember, like, I mean, I feel like our front door was always unlocked. There was always just like something going on. There was always a constant flow of people coming in and out. Some you knew, some you didn't. And it was just like, there was always something to do. There was always something like going on. Like if you were bored, you could come out of your room. There'd probably be somebody there. They were probably about to go do something. So I feel like there was never like a downtime very much, except for like the winter.
Being that I did it 2 years in a row back to back, and that first year was without these guys. I wish they were there because that first year of random roommates, it's a little rough.
Yeah. Which they were scared of with me because they had already had 2 that weren't very pleasant. So like I kind of came in and kind of had to like impress them a little bit because they were like, oh, we've already had 2 bad situations.
Yeah, the one, she just brought in random animals. The room was a mess.
Joanna, you also brought in a random animal.
Okay.
She brought a dog in.
I didn't have
and then
geckos.
left for work.
I didn't have geckos and lizards, and
Didn't
then
she have,
bring
like,
an
a raccoon
unruly
at
German
one point?
Shepherd.
Did she have a raccoon?
Whoa, a
I was
raccoon.
there for it.
Yeah, but
Those
there
were
was for a
outside.
short period of time.
On the side of the house, there was like this dresser drawer, and like we were getting ready to move out or whatever. I hadn't been there most of the summer or whatever, or been gone for a period of time. And there's like a skeleton of like a rabbit or something. I don't know. I don't want to know. I didn't want to know. But like, yeah,
What?
she was just, and she had a boyfriend
Yeah.
that ended
Wait.
up being super psycho.
She has a boyfriend and she had a skeleton of a rabbit in a box outside her house in some kind of drawer, but she still had a boyfriend.
Yeah, he was really weird.
Well, he had to be, it sounds like.
And then
Yeah, it was just like,
and
wait
then
a second.
And then they think they were engaged at one point, or they were like moving in together and building a house. Like it was real out there. That was after the fact. But anyway, there was her, and then there was the other roommate who just never talked to us, and she just went straight to her room every single day. And she was like a year older, just didn't talk to us.
I remember living there for like 2 weeks, and like I think it was Callie was like, I like Colleen, she talks to us. Yeah. And I was like, that's all it takes. I just have to talk to people.
Yeah. Yeah, the other girl didn't talk at all. Even my mom was over one time and she was like trying to say hi to her, and she just walked by and didn't say anything, went straight to her room. It's like, came and say hi to my parents.
Yeah.
I don't know. But anyway, much better roommates.
Yes.
And then the third one, well, we know that.
Yeah.
So she, in the long run,
smiles.
didn't work out.
Yes. Yeah. She's definitely the ex-roommate.
Yeah.
We broke up.
I would say 222 was just, it was good. I felt like everyone took a different, like something
Well, and
different out of that house.
Not to cut you off. For context, we moved in at the same time.
Yes, yeah. So I knew
Okay.
Callie and Joanna from my sorority. We were all in the same sorority. Joanna was coming to our sorority. And so I was kind of like, oh yeah, I lived with the girl who I did not get along with for a year before that. I was probably like the worst roommate that experience was just the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I want to go to a fun house, lots of people in it. I want to like go and do crazy stuff. And that was like exactly what I got out of 222. It was like, yeah, you walk downstairs and it was like, oh, who's that? And you were like, I don't know, but it's kind of fun. And like, that was exciting for me. And I think we all got closer because it was like, you were put in an uncomfortable place.
Yeah.
But it was like not an uncomfortable place that you couldn't be yourself in or something. Like it was still good, I feel like, but
When it got to the point where we like knew who we could go to for certain things,
Right,
like
yeah.
I always knew if I wanted to go out, I would call Joanna because she was always like, let's go, I don't care. And especially when like they found out about my ex situation, they were like, oh, we're getting you out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, let's go. So I feel like it
Colleen.
was definitely like, I mean, my first transferring and like living with my ex, my first 2 years were so weird. So this house definitely gave me like the full college experience that I was looking
And
for.
we were in like Party Central, so it was just
Yeah,
so easy.
yeah.
You walk down the street and there's a party.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It wasn't hard to find.
you went to her for parties, and then if you were up past 2 a.m.
I was gonna say
you
that.
actually-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Text me at 3 a.m. and be like, are you
I had, like,
awake?
There was
Yeah.
only one SOS moment. I needed Colleen at 222.
Yeah.
I cut my finger.
She got like a piece of glass in her hand.
Thought I was going to die, actually.
Yeah.
I was like hyperventilating and I was sweating so bad. And she walked in with a straight face and was like,
That was
you're okay. I think that's just like, did you rinse it out? I was like, no.
Yeah, then you're like, please check to make sure there's not glass in it. Yeah. And that was like, I think we'd been living there for a month.
Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
short after we had moved. I just died at 3:30 in the morning and
Yeah. We
Yeah,
survived
good
though.
time.
You're
Yeah,
like,
I had a 2 o'clock expiration. I just get completely just
Gone.
sloshed.
yeah.
Gone.
Yeah.
Fuck, I'm done and Hannah takes over.
Yep. That was pretty much how it worked. Yeah,
Toss
we
Colleen
also
off.
had to- we had to figure out like what we were good for, what the vibes were. Yeah. I feel like I feel like I was what the advice go to. If someone was having a crisis, they would come to me. Yeah.
very reasonable. Mom
Good
was like, I was way too extreme with my emotions. I'm
Yeah.
like, what? He did that? Well, let's go burn his house down.
Yeah.
Or like, gotta go
Yeah.
and get him. And like, Colleen was like, well, we could send him a nicely worded text message and we could explain.
He's not gonna believe that.
No.
Maybe not in her own life, but in everyone else's. I feel like Colleen's like, this is what I have to do. And then we're like, Colleen, do it for yourself.
Yeah. Take your own advice.
But that's why you have us.
That's funny.
Exactly. Chrissy,
Aw,
any other
that's
questions?
funny.
Did I answer it well?
Yes. A couple more. So I feel like you all are in different stages of your life. Like Joanna, you already graduated a while ago. Colleen just graduated. Hannah, you're finishing up with school. So like, how is it like Colleen and Hannah are having college roommates, but Hannah or Joanna for a while, you were having like adult roommates because you were working a job and like going and doing like other things. Like, so Joanna, for you, how was it like transitioning from having them be your college roommates to like kind of be more of adult roommates because you got a job and you were starting your life?
Yeah, it was kind of weird. I don't know. I feel like we've all kind of matured the closer we got to our senior year. So like we didn't
Mhm.
do quite as much as the crazy stuff we might have done freshman and sophomore
Especially
year.
with COVID, because I mean we couldn't. So we spent a lot of time together during COVID.
Yeah, and we didn't really just start getting out of like before I switched to this job that I'm at, my first job I got back in I started maybe February. So we were still in the pandemic. So everyone wasn't really going out or doing too much crazy stuff. So it's a little easier, I feel like, for me, not being like
Mhm.
tempted, like, oh, like I miss like going out with my roommates that are still in college. So like, I don't know, I never felt like I was missing out of it on it. And then when things did start to open up, I kind of like, I don't know, I based like what I could do around my work schedule. So my work schedule was that, and then like I'd see how the weekend went and see what they were up to. So I don't know, the transition wasn't too bad, and yeah.
I would say we're just more structured now. Before we could kind of do whatever, whenever, because we all kind of knew each other's schedules. So now we're a little bit more all over the place. So I think we have to put in more of an effort.
Yeah.
If we want to see each other, if we want to go out on a Friday night, we do have to plan it a little bit more because we have to, consider that like, yeah, you have to get up at 7, 8 o'clock in the morning to go to work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, I feel like for me, it's been a very weird year, especially with my emotions towards my roommates. I won't cry. But like I didn't take classes this last semester. So I was actually home like all 24/7. Like I had nothing to do. And it was very boring, but it was also like I had inspiration to look up to be like, okay, these people are like on their schedule. They're doing their stuff, Saw Joanna get up and go to work every day. And I was like, okay, I mean, you go do it, like, go girl. And then I saw Colleen finishing up her senior year and it was like, yeah, I want to go back and I want to do that. And like, but I did feel like even now I'm like, oh, I'm so young. And so like not uneducated or like not matured, but I'm like, oh yeah, these are my adult like when he said adult roommates, I was like, oh, that's the word.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm a college student and you guys are adults. And it's not anything bad, but it's like you have to realize that to be able to work with y'all and like make plans and make a vacation work,
Mhm.
you know, and like be able to do stuff still.
Well, and that's something we talked about on our last episode about your 20s being really weird. And we talked about how everyone is on a different path. And that's what's so weird about it. Because I mean, you've gone through school for like, 16, 17, 18 years of your life. And like
it's
everyone's doing the same thing. And then,
Over.
that's over. And then you have all these options. So like, we're definitely an example of that, of like, yeah, we're all on different paths, different timing, going different ways, but we're figuring out how to make it work. And I think that this transition so far hasn't been weird because like, I think the next phase is what's going to be really weird because we're going to be moving out in a couple of weeks.
Stop it.
I know we're not going to be living together for the first time in 2 years. And, I don't know where I'm going to end up. You're going to be finishing school. We know you're staying in Kentucky.
Well, I have an extra bedroom, so I know where she's
Yes.
going to end up. But
But I think that's the phase that's going to be really weird for us because we're really going to have to put into an effort because I mean, I can't walk down the hallway and knock on your door.
But I think that too, this last year allowed us to make those connections that like, yeah, even if we don't talk every day, if we send a text, you're going to reply because now we've realized that we actually want to be friends.
Oh yeah.
Where I'm not saying like, before we were like, we didn't want to be friends, but you look at some of our other roommates that aren't necessarily, with us or, aren't part of our group anymore. And it's like, no, we decided that they probably weren't the best for us. And like, doesn't mean we don't like love them or care about them, but it's like, it's not worth the time and energy from us to put in.
Yeah. Well, like we chose to be roommates, but then you have to take it a step further and choose if you want to be friends. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that, I guess that kind of leads into my next question. So when we talked to my college roommate, Stanley, we were already not roommates anymore because I moved here, have my own place kind of thing. But so don't cry, but like you are going to be moving out and everything from each other in a couple weeks. Like, how are you feeling? Because that is weird.
Heartbroken.
I don't even want to think about it. Like I know I'm going down the week of June 12th and you'll be there moving out at the same time. And yeah, like I don't even want to think about it. It makes me emotional because I'm like, how am I not going to live with these people anymore? It's weird.
I've already kind of moved out.
Yeah,
Joanna.
I think it's going to be the easiest for you.
It's a little easier. I was already kind of moved out, but yeah, it's still subject to change. As we know.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm bad with emotions. I'm a very emotional person and I don't always take them out the right way. Like it's like Joanna, I remember she moved out and then I don't even know if you knew this, but like it was
I don't know.
It's like when then she came over and she was like going out with us and drinking and it's like then at the end of the night I'm getting snippy at Joanna being all like, well,
you don't even live with us anymore.
Yeah, and it's like, well, fine, well, whatever. And it's because I'm hurt because I miss you. And I just want to be like, move in with me, stay with us, and I think it's gonna take a while for me to be like, they still love you, Hannah. They still want to be your friend. They still like don't, they just have to move on in their life. And like I'm just processing it. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'll probably be the worst. I'll be like, please come over to my house right now.
Yeah.
I honestly can't wait for that because like it's like I almost feel like I need to be invited back to my own house. Sometimes I'm like, you don't need to come back to Lexington because I still have the room, my furniture there. It's just my clothes aren't there. But yeah,
I know.
Just be like Joanna, get your butt over here.
Yeah.
Mabel, you can come and see Mabel.
Yes.
I think Mabel will be the most heartbroken. She has lived with 5 girls.
Yeah, that's Hannah's.
That's my dog.
Big bloodhound. She's huge.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
girls.
she will definitely be like, where did they go, Mom? I don't understand. Or Mom, I don't know.
Or she might be like, this is my house now.
I can't. I don't know. Mabel doesn't talk to me. I make her talk. But
yeah, I can see that. She was so excited when we got here. Oh my gosh, she always gets super excited for Joanna, but with me, she's kind of like, hey, Colleen. But
this time,
even when I walked in, oh my, I was not prepared. To wrap up your question, like I think it does scare us just because like the unknown, but like I'm excited for us all to like watch everyone succeed and still be there for like the next chapter. But even though like it's nerve-wracking and it's like I think it's so nerve-wracking because we're all kind of like, okay, Joanna knows what she's doing, you got to graduate. I got to figure out where I'm going to end up at. I think we'll chill back down when we all kind of.
I'm excited
settle
to
down.
see when we like all kind of like end up someplace, and we know we'll be there at least for like the next handful of years, and like we can all like kind of make our plans accordingly and be like, oh yeah, I'll plan to come out and see you around this, like, you know, like
Well, when we
excited
were
to figure
here,
it all out.
yeah, when we were here, we're literally already talking about next summer. We're gonna go to New Jersey. We're gonna get a beach house up there. Like we're already planning ahead, like our
Chris,
next
come up.
vacation of all getting.
Oh, I will.
Come up to Jersey.
Yeah.
No, it's not that far from me. I'd be down.
No, it's like 5-ish hours.
Yeah, like 5 hours. That's
Yeah.
not bad at all.
Well, and it's funny
But-
because my mom is like very big on friendships and very big on having girlfriends. And when you guys left after my graduation party, she looked at me and said, "You found your lifelong best friends. You did it. You did it."
Mm.
And I was like, "Oh,
Oh.
I hope so. Stay around, please."
Yeah. My mom, like, even on this trip, it was funny because it was like we had talked about it. Me and Colleen had kind of been like, okay, she's going to drive down with me. And then plans changed. And I'm not a person, if you know me, you know I'm a very good friend, but I sometimes feel like I distance myself a little bit. And I'm not a reacher outer, or like, oh, hey, like, you know, let's go do this, make sure that the plans follow through. But it showed me this trip that, like, even though, like, yeah, we changed plans and we were like, okay, now Joanna wants to come, we're going to plan it around her work schedule. Like, they still came. They still went online and booked their own tickets. And it really showed me, I was like, oh my God, I have friends that like love me and want to come see me and like spend a vacation. Because honestly, like in my life, I've never had, I guess, people who really put in the effort to like do something for the benefit of all of us. It was normally like, okay, either I use you for this, or, you know, I'm getting this out of it for myself. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm my best friends. And my mom was like, Anna, I just love this for you. She's like, you're so excited for all your friends up here. I'm like, yeah, no, it is. It's like an awesome feeling to actually have people who,
Mhm.
you know, are like, even if it's a little bit of a struggle for me, or I have to pay a little bit more money, it doesn't matter, because like I'm doing this for
Yeah.
you.
Well, like
and
the way that I look about it, like it's for the memories.
yeah.
Like that's what I'm gonna remember when I'm 70 is the trip that we took to Myrtle Beach
And
together.
I think sometimes we overthink and we get like overwhelmed with like, yeah, that, and we don't have those memories
Mhm.
because we've overthought it. We didn't do it because it was too much, or too much drama, too much stress. And it's like, we don't have to do that. We can have great times and just
Make it work.
Yeah.
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 Well, especially when there's 3 of us. I mean, yeah, you have to give and take. I mean,
Mhm.
in any really
Mhm.
friendship, you have to give and take. But when you start throwing more than 2 people into the mix, I mean, yeah, you can't be selfish or it's not going to work out.
right. Yeah.
Right. Well, that's cool. I mean, I'm glad college is definitely the place where you like find your lifelong friends and that stuff. But so I know that like when Stanley and I were moving out, we did like one last like hoorah thing together. Like, do you have something in mind, like when you all are back in Lexington to move out?
Oh no, we should though. Well, Colleen,
Did you hear
who's
me?
moving out early?
I did,
No,
I
didn't
heard you.
hear. What did you say?
Okay, I brought, yeah, I did that, Chris, but nobody wanted to do it. It broke my heart last.
What?
Okay, my jars.
Oh,
The Hannah got mason jars to collect stuff on this trip to have a little keepsake.
Oh,
Adorable, right? Great idea. I was like,
that's
listen,
really cute.
I was like, it could be anything, like a bottle cap that you're like, oh my God, Hannah told a funny joke during like the time I took a drink. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or like
Mhm.
a napkin from like a bar we
Yeah.
went to.
I took a pen.
And I was like, you know, when you like, then we could put it in there, and like, maybe not like, to, you know, this trip, but maybe in a week or 2 when we get back to Lexington, we're going to move out. Yeah, maybe we could like talk about it and be like, oh my God, well, like, remember these were some of our last memories where we didn't feel stressed. We didn't have real life kicking us in the butt right away.
Mhm.
And like, yeah, it might be stupid to other people who see this jar, but to you, like, this was like maybe
Sentimental.
your 4 years wrapped into one. And like, I don't know, I'm very sentimental with those kind of
Yeah.
things. I like to do like, you know, memories and keepsakes, and I write them letters and leave them on their doors. And I'm definitely gonna miss that
the
aspect of
Easter
it.
basket.
Yes, I
Yes.
give Easter baskets, holiday gifts, and like, to me, that's definitely the thing I think I'm gonna be like the most, because yeah, I'm a very sentimental, like memorable, go out and like, but like, wait, do we take the picture so that we all like
Yeah.
have it for later, you know? Because yeah, I think it's, you can live it up, but then like if you don't have something from it,
Mhm.
sometimes I'm like, you miss out on those emotions to keep on to them.
Yeah, well, we've always joked that like she's the mom of the group when it comes to like crafts and memories, taking pictures, all that stuff.
She's gonna
and
Yeah.
like the
plan your kids'
chartboard.
birthday
Yeah,
parties.
like we always know, like
I'm
if
not
there's a
gonna be able to make
birthday.
a chartboard. A chore.
Yeah, you can make one for yourself.
That's depressing.
It'll turn from a chore chart to a to-do list.
Yeah, at least it'll get done.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least you'll
Yeah.
come in there and you'll see Hannah. You'll be like, did you really do that? Yes.
Yeah, but whenever it comes to like even like Valentine's Day, like birthdays, everything, you always know Hannah's gonna show up with like 2 giant bags of decorations and is gonna just deck out the house. That's something we can, especially with COVID and like you taking like not being in
It's
school
so
and
fun.
stuff. She has so much time on her hands that like
I did. I laminated our whole chore board.
Yeah.
And then I put Velcro on the back of our names so that all you had to do is like
move
pull
them,
it off and put it down instead of like writing
erasing
your
everything.
board.
Yeah.
Writing it all out. Yeah, it was great.
All I gotta say though,
A little
is
extra.
her kids are gonna have the biggest,
No,
baddest
she's gonna make us.
birthday party.
She's gonna make us look like terrible moms.
Oh yeah, no,
Oh my
she's,
God.
she's gonna be planning the whole school, middle school dances.
Yeah.
and
They're gonna
she'll
be
on
like
the
PTA
committee.
mom
Yeah.
of the year.
No, our kids are gonna be like, look what Aunt did, and we're gonna be like, ah.
They're like, oh, we gotta step it up.
My non is in a hair flip. I did that the other day and I went, oh, that's not a move. 'cause-
So,
Oh, Lordy.
oh boy.
They're making fun of me, kind of, but it's okay.
It's a,
Laughing with you, not at you.
yes.
Hmm.
Do you have any other questions, Christopher?
I mean, that was the only questions that I had.
Those were good questions. I like that.
I have a question for Chris.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So I guess being a person looking at our friendship and knowing Colleen for, a really long time, obviously you guys are best friends. I guess like, do you, he might lie and not be honest.
Sorry, no, he'll be honest.
But like, do you feel like we are like good for Colleen and like, like, I guess like, do you see our friendship as like a positive group and like,
Yeah, from the outside.
because I
looking
guess
in,
like, yeah, we're
Yeah.
sitting here going, we're best friends. We love each other.
Yeah.
But like, there's always, I feel like you look at people and you're like, oh, they really get along. They understand each other. Or, oh,
Mm.
yeah, I see like, you guys could get closer or.
yeah, or
something
you're
like
kind of
that.
forcing
Like,
it. Do you actually?
you know,
like each
yeah,
other?
it's like,
Yeah.
I
Well, and
don't
Chris
know.
has met you guys
'Cause I feel like
multiple times too in person, so
Yeah.
that helps.
Right.
You've seen
Right.
our personalities and how we mesh.
Yeah. Well, this is actually something that like Katerina and I have talked about. And because I think a big thing was Colleen wasn't really like, I mean, she was kind of looking forward to college, but like wasn't. And then she went to Kent and then she had a bad experience. And then I think that I was more of a hover friend when she was at Kent because I knew that she wasn't happy and that she wasn't enjoying herself. She wasn't making she made friends and stuff, but I don't necessarily think that they were good for her. Weird roommate experience, stuff like that. So like I was more of a hoverer where I'd be like, I'm gonna talk to Colleen like an in-depth conversation every single day to like make sure that she's doing okay because like she's not. And she's coming home every single weekend where I was not. And so I was just like, okay, we're gonna like try to like figure that out. Well, then she went to UK and obviously I was still a hover friend because then she moved in with her boyfriend and I was like, I don't think that this is gonna go well. But then I was
there was Kat.
correct. And then I remember us having like big long conversations because Colleen wasn't sure what to do like about like a roommate situation. So she was like, I'm gonna go like try to find like these random roommates like on Facebook and stuff. And I remember Kat and I having separate conversations and being like, are you sure? Like, you gonna get like abducted or something? Like, I feel like this is not good. But then once she moved in and you all like started like, I felt relief as like a friend pretty close to immediately because she was able to like express like and tell me stories and stuff. I could just tell that she was genuinely happier and that she really like you all meant like a lot to her because she had friends at UK, but since she was living with her ex-boyfriend, like she didn't really have time to like go do stuff because it was like she was with him all the time.
Yeah.
And so then like once she like started having more like independency and like freedom and stuff, and she was able to just kind of like do her own thing and make those connections and be friends with you guys, then like I was like, okay, I don't need to be her friend anymore. Like she's good. I haven't even met these girls, but like I know that she's fine. And so then like I met you all, and then I was like, okay, this makes sense. Like Colleen is good. Like these people are good. So like Colleen and I still talk all the time, but I'm not over here like worrying or being like, okay, let's have an in-depth conversation. Let me make up what I need to talk to you about because I know that you're not happy, or I don't need to do that because she's fine. So yeah, I would say, yeah, I appreciated that. Like as like someone who's been like a friend with Colleen for like a really long time, like I appreciate you all's relationship and like how much you care about her and your dynamic that you have, because I think that it's gotten a long way for her mental health and her just as a person too.
Yeah. Well, and I definitely didn't even know. I think I was the last person to find out that Colleen was struggling with mental health a little bit and everything. And like, it's funny because I was probably the other person in the house who was struggling the most at the time. And like, yeah, we never connected on that level. Probably, I don't think really, maybe at the very end of 222.
Yeah.
But we never really talked about emotions or anything. Like, but I also I think we both needed that because it was like, it was a friend that you didn't talk about that stuff. It was like, hey, I don't really know you, but you're cool as hell. And like, I like you. And like, that was it for a while.
I think it was through my Odyssey articles that you guys were like, oh, are you good? Like,
Yeah.
you haven't really talked about this that much, but you're writing it out to the public.
Yeah. But I feel like you were just very like, I don't know. I love calling some the day I saw her. And then now I'm like, oh, I can't say that because we're getting funny jokes. PSA on the bottom of the screen would be like Hannah and Colleen are not dating.
Yeah.
But I do love Colleen, and then whenever a guy comes to marry her, he's gonna have to ask for it off my hand first. But no, it's funny. Yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, we're like two peas in a pod because I've never felt like any type of like unfriendship. And sometimes I'm like, oh, I wish I was Kat and Chris. I want to have that friendship. Like I want to have all those memories. And like, you know, I'm just like, wow, I don't know, it's just a good feeling, but it's also a good feeling to know that like, yeah, you guys welcome us into the group and like, you know.
Oh, I was so excited for Kat and Chris to come up to Kentucky and meet you guys, and because I told so many stories and they had seen all of our like memories and everything. I was so excited, but it was one of those things that was like, oh God, my worlds are colliding. My college best friends are meeting my hometown best friends. Oh God, I hope they like each other.
Well, because I came and visited you when you lived at 222, so I met them.
Yes, you met them first. Yeah.
First. And then like, but then Kat and I came down like last fall. And that was also when you were talking to someone, and Kat and I were like, we're skeptical. And so laid the hammer down on that one. But yeah.
Walking myself out of this.
Yeah. No, it is weird. Do I what?
Do you remember the hike?
Yeah, I do remember the hike.
Let's go to hike.
I don't know if you remember me and my emotions, but I was not happy to be there.
What?
Not happy to be on the hike.
Oh yeah, no.
Happy to be there. I was like, sure, this is cool. I don't want to do this ever again.
Yeah. Haven't done it again since.
No, we haven't.
Oh, that's funny.
Yes. No. Well, my bad. I'm not ever setting Colleen up ever again.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all I
appreciate the try. Appreciate the try.
Yeah, we did.
I tried. Well, first of all, Colleen was all like, oh, I am interested. Yes. And then I was all like, oh,
perfect.
I could definitely make that happen. So like, I wasn't like, oh, here's this man.
Yeah.
Like, get him. Yes, right here. I was like, oh, I know him. You know him? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So hashtag not my fault.
It's fair. I won't be mad at you. Yeah, so that is my college roommates. I hope you guys got some good insight on living with girls and finding your place and stuff. I know that we have a lot of female listeners and a lot of young listeners as well that are in high school going to college. So I hope that we gave you guys some advice and you can see like a real world, real life situation.
That's not so scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
You'll find your people. That's the part. It'll all fall into place.
For sure. Okay, well, we appreciate you all listening. Hannah and Joanna, thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure. And so, yes. And so one thing that we do at the end of every episode is we say peace and blessings. So we'll go ahead and do that. So thank you again for joining us. Thanks for listening. Of course, you can find us on all platforms related to Apple Podcasts, Yeah, happy 10th episode. Celebrate. Good times. But okay, so we will talk to you guys again next week. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings.